Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Commodity TV is here today in Zurich for the Zurich Invest. We are in the offices here. We got our studio here set up. And with me here is my first interview partner, Brian Maher, the President and CEO of PPX Mining. Brian, welcome. Pleasure always meeting you.
Great to be here yet again.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. The last time we spoke like exactly 6 months ago, I would say, about your lovely company. And at that time, you said that you want to do a test mining, like a bulk trial. So how are the results?
Well, the results to date have been fantastic. We have already extracted over 20,000 tons of bulk sample from the Cainquita structure at our Igor project in northern Peru. The sample average grade has been almost 8.6 grams per ton, which is far in excess of the resource model. So in terms of validating the resource model, confirming what the diamond drill holes intercepted, it's been an unqualified success. Also, we've taken those samples and processed them at a nearby toll mill. Recoveries have been from about 80% to over 90%, again, validating all the metallurgical test work that we've done. At the same time, we developed a cost profile. What's it cost to drive 2 meters of ramp? What's it cost to raise on the structure? We're using all that data to generate a pre-feasibility study, which we expect to have done at the end of Q2 of this year, which will outline the full economic potential of underground mining on the Cainquita structure at our Igor project.
Fantastic. Wow, that sounds great. So you are really moving forward with the whole company and let's say, steps towards production, right? I also saw on your website you had some phenomenal drill results.
And that's
high intercepts.
Yes, and I'm really excited about that because we think that this is really changing what the company is, what its fundamental focus is. Up until now, people have thought of the Igor project as the Cainquitas resource and developing a mine. But through our exploration drilling, we're finding new deposits. And this is evolving Igor into a district-scale exploration and mine development opportunity. At Portezuelos, we're hitting thick zones of good-grade copper and gold mineralization. For example, over 40 meters of 2.79 grams per ton gold equivalent at the surface.
Wow.
This mineralized system has over 1,000 meters of strike length. It appears there's parallel stacked sequences of mineralized rock. In other words, the volume potential there is quite large. And we see that evolving into potentially an open pit mineable style of resource. Lower grade, but larger volume. But elsewhere on the project, like at Tesoros, we're still waiting to get the drill rigs over there to test those targets. Historic drilling there hit 70 meters of over 4 grams gold equivalent.
Wow.
No drilling has taken place in over a decade. So as we start going through each one of these targets, we definitely see multiple deposits being identified, which truly make this a district scale opportunity.
Fantastic. When you say district scale opportunity, how large is your land package then already? Can you enlarge it further?
That's a great question. Right now we have 1,300 hectares or 13 square kilometers. And because of how these concessions are oriented, all this mineralization we've been finding occurs within our existing concessions. So yes, we could acquire additional ground, but for now, we don't really need it. But when you start looking at elsewhere in northern Peru, particularly like up at Yanacocha, for example, and you see all these deposits occurring along a structural belt, that seems to be what we have now at Igor, except it's on our land package.
Wow, that would be really amazing. Fantastic. So the question might be then, what is, let's say, the game plan for 2018? I mean, you said you cannot wait to get the drill rigs going. Obviously, you want to drill a lot. How many meters you want to drill, or what's the plan?
Right now, we're going to wrap up our phase 1 program with about another 1,000 meters of drilling, a few more holes at Portezuelos, and a few holes at Tesoros. But very importantly, we're also completing the last 2 drill holes at Cainquitas to get the last bit of information needed for that pre-feasibility study. With that document in hand at the end of Q2, we intend to make a decision on production. Assuming the PFS looks positive, which of course we anticipate it will, we believe we'll be able to start having commercial production potentially in Q4 of this year and be at full capacity, 350 tons per day by the beginning of 2018. We will no longer be using a toll mill. We'll have our own processing facility, a heap leach facility that has very low cost. And so we are anticipating very low cash cost per ounce of gold produced for the project. But what's important is with the success we've had with the drill rig, That gives us scalability, the ability to increase production rapidly with all this new material that we've been drilling.
When you say the 350 tons per day, is this in Peru under the license of like the toll mining, or how can I say it, of the small scale miners, right? Is that
exactly? Exactly. We permitted it under the PPM, Pequeño Productor Minería. Okay, but we have the ability to operate at up to 25% of that capacity. So we could, right off the bat, go up to over 400 tons per day and also permit for an expansion. In the pre-feasibility study, you will see an analysis of adding a conventional milling facility to the heap leach facility, which would, again, allow us to ramp up rapidly and take advantage of all this new mineralization we found.
Fantastic. What would it mean money-wise? I mean, when you say you want to have established that in Q4, I mean, that's really super fast. That's high-speed mining, I would call it. Yeah, so how much money do you need to really go then into commercial production?
At this point in time, we have sufficient capital on hand to achieve commercial production.
Fantastic.
But with the amount of success we're having on the exploration side, we would love to accelerate that, either through our own cash flow or perhaps with a strategic investment with a partner. But what we've learned over the years is you can't count on other people. We've got to be able to do it ourselves, and so we are prepared to do that. So for our shareholders, they should all be very excited. It looks like we're going to have a lot of good news flow with the drills turning all year, more drilling in Portezuelos to Soros, and obviously with a pre-feasibility study in hand, going from having resources to reserves, that's a real benchmark for moving the company forward.
Fantastic. Where do we see the initial mine life? I mean, I know it's too early to speculate on that, but let's say, can we count on something like 4 or 5 years maybe? What do you think?
Well, based on the information that we have and our discussions with the consultants who are putting together the pre-feasibility study, we see a 7 to 8 year initial mine life. But of course, that's just initial mine life. We want to increase mine life. We want to increase capacity. Cash flow. We want to be a thriving business entity, not just a junior who's making their name based on a share price moving in one direction. That's always important, but we want to be based upon tangible success, exploration success, and production success.
Fantastic. That was a great final sentence. Thank you very much. I really liked it. And yeah, all the best for that. And we want to see you in production definitely when we see us latest November.
We will see you in November, and that's what we'll be talking about.
Great, I love it. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Brian Maher, the President and CEO of PPX Mining. And you heard it, the success story goes on, it moves on. They will be in production then, hopefully commercial production by the end of this year, let's say in Q4, but latest by the end of the year. They have the money to do it. That's even more important because sometimes projects like this, all of a sudden they lack some amount of money and then they need to emergency finance. Here they have the money to do it, and then they can really move on full throttle to develop their district mining scale landscape they have. And yeah, top drill results, more land, more exploration. Check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Zurich.